Alpha-Gal syndrome was something that was once extremely rare in this country. That is a fact, but it is becoming more and more common as more people develop an allergy to red meat after getting bitten by a Lone Star tick, which is the tick you see with the white dot on its back. And over the last several years, cases of alpha-gal syndrome have skyrocketed by almost 10,000%. And now, headline after headline, all asking the same question: how could a tick-borne illness suddenly be impacting so many people, not just people living in rural America, but in suburban America as well? And then we heard from Dr. Matthew Lau at the World Science Festival 10 years ago.
People eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then they would, it would actually really help the planet. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
Oh, okay. And then you start to connect the dots even more, and you find out that Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation spent millions of dollars funding genetically engineered ticks, and that Bill Gates is also a major investor in lab-grown meat. And now we've got almost 500,000 Americans living with a rare tick-borne illness that makes people allergic to meat, but not the lab-grown meat that Bill Gates has invested in. You think maybe this is not a coincidence after all?
Welcome to the channel, guys. Today we've got a super serious topic to talk about: alpha-gal syndrome, people unable to eat meat after getting bit by a tick. This is just mind-blowing, and I'm going to go through it with you. I'd appreciate if you'd subscribe, like, and share. It's totally free, it costs nothing, and it's a huge boost to the channel. Now, let's take a look at this next video here. And it's eye-opening.
Nicholas Hulsher is an epidemiologist at the McCullough Foundation. He's been talking about this for months. Nick, great to have you back. Right now, there are 79 cases of alpha-gal syndrome in Rhode Island. They've never seen that before there. And 10 states are reporting more emergency room visits for tick bites than they've ever seen before. What do you think is really going on here?
Yeah, there's a major tick problem going on, and it appears nobody's talking about it. None of the large news outlets. This is very serious. We have to remember, a new study came out a few months ago, and they literally found alpha-gal syndrome, the incidence of alpha-gal syndrome, the allergy to red meat from the Lone Star ticks, skyrocketed up 10,000% in just 10 years. And then we look to 2021 to 2024, it jumped up another 300%, another sharp increase. So something's going on. Something is driving these ticks.
Is that the left is blaming it on climate change? I know you're an epidemiologist, but is that normal with an illness that's been around for a long time, like alpha-gal, to just suddenly be everywhere at the same time?
No, we do not believe this is actually from climate change. In fact, we have to start looking at government-related or NGO-related laboratory activities, especially given that the Gates Foundation gave over $7 million to a biotech company to make genetically engineered ticks, as well as the U.S. Army released 270,000 radioactive labeled ticks into the wild in the 1960s.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. I think we've got the headline because people just don't know about this. 278,000 radioactively labeled ticks in Virginia, in Montana, including Lone Star ticks. And they wanted to do this to see how fast they could spread disease. So do you think there's a connection? Maybe they're doing this again?
It's very possible. We know they did it in the past. We know that these NGOs, Gates Foundation, are funding sorts of activities. And lastly, we have seen a peer-reviewed paper published in the journal Bioethics. Professors from Western Michigan University, they lay out that they say it's morally required to intentionally genetically engineer Lone Star ticks to spread alpha-gal syndrome as a form of moral bioenhancement to stop people from eating meat. You can't make this up. So bioethics is now masquerading or actually bioterrorism is masquerading as bioethics now.
We have the study, by the way, this Michigan, Western Michigan paper that was published. It's bioterrorism. And then you add the Bill Gates element to this. When I first became aware that this was happening, I thought the CDC should maybe investigate. Nick, now I think it should be the FBI. What needs to happen next here?
Yeah, we need serious investigations, all hands on deck. CDC, we got to find out exactly what's driving the increase. And FBI, they got to figure out if there are any illegal bioterror related activities resulting in this 10,000% rise in alpha gal. We can't let this go on. We got to stop it, and we got to find out why.
Just quickly, do you think it's a coincidence that cases of Lyme disease are now setting records in states, and Pfizer, all of a sudden, what do you know, they've got this new Lyme disease vaccine?
It may not be a coincidence. It may not be a coincidence because we just look at COVID. We just look at COVID, what they were doing before the laboratory, the lab leak, and then they made billions of dollars. So, would not surprise me.
Check yourself for ticks. Check your children for ticks.
That's just mind-blowing. So Bill is producing a product that doesn't react to alpha-gal, and 10,000% increase in people getting sick. I mean, I'm blown away by this. And it is bioethics masquerading as bioethics, and it's really bioterrorism. That's the way to say it. I pulled up a little bit about this, and alpha-gal syndrome is a serious, potentially life-threatening allergic condition triggered primarily by tick bites, which cause individuals to develop a severe allergy to a sugar molecule found in red and meat and mammalian products. Key statistics on alpha-gal syndrome, the impact of AGS is what it's called, has grown dramatically over the last decade, though it remains widely underdiagnosed and underreported. The CDC alpha-gal syndrome page estimates as many as 450,000 Americans are affected. The rapid rise in cases, more than 110,000 suspected cases between 2010 and 2022. But I mean, remember, this is just coming on. They just engineered this thing, and it's a 10,000-fold increase. Recent epidemiological data shows a massive multi-thousand% surge in incidence and prevalence, particularly spiking among older adults and women. The risk is anaphylaxis. 60% of people diagnosed with this experience severe anaphylactic reactions. Some allergy clinics have been identified as the leading cause of unexplained anaphylaxis. So anaphylaxis is going up, and this is the leading cause of it everywhere. There's a diagnostic delay. It takes an average of 7 years for a patient to receive an accurate diagnosis. And this is largely due to the unique delayed nature of the symptoms and a lack of awareness among medical staff, because this is a created crisis once again. And you noticed the big pharma is producing a thing to fix this. A nationwide CDC survey revealed that 42% of healthcare providers are completely unaware of alpha-gal, and another 35% do not feel confident of diagnosing or treating it. So you're going to need a real specialist if you get this. And, tick season is early spring and before the winter hits. And I mean, I don't know about you. I live in Wisconsin. They're everywhere. You don't want to go in tall grass. The primary causes and biological mechanism are fundamentally the immune system malfunction initiated by an environmental trigger, the catalyst, the tick bite. The primary cause is the bite of the Lone Star tick, but other species like the black-legged tick can also cause it. The alpha-gal, carbohydrate sugar molecule present in the most non-primate mammals, but not naturally found in humans. So there's a sugar molecule present in most mammals, but not naturally found in humans. Ticks ingest the sugar when feeding on animals like deer or mice, and the immune response when the tick bites a human, it injects this alpha-gal directly into the bloodstream, and certain individuals, their immune system perceives this foreign sugar as a threat and creates an IgE antibody to fight it, and then you're sick and you can't eat meat, you can't eat dairy, beef, pork, lamb, like I said, dairy or gelatin. The immune system launches a massive attack, is what happens to you. And it takes 2 to 6 hours for the onset of this. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this is bioterrorism right here. I mean, somebody created this. You heard what the bioethicists were saying 10 years ago. The epidemiologists in the video talked about it. I hated to have to bring this story to you, but this is important. Everyone needs to know about this. There are ways to avoid ticks, and if you're going to be in areas with ticks, and especially long grass that's uncut, in rural areas, you want to probably lather yourself in tick repellent, mosquito repellent. I mean, there's sprays that will do this, and everyone needs to be aware of it. Guys, I totally appreciate you being here with me today. What I'm going to do when I make videos, I'm going to try and bring you guys real information that will help your lives. I appreciate you spending the time with me. God bless.